Good day everybody and welcome to today's episode on my YouTube video series. And today I have a new toy to show you, which is my new touchscreen TV. This is a touchscreen TV and we are shooting this from my office in RNF Princess Cove in JB. And with this touchscreen TV, I'm going to do a geography lesson. The reason for doing so is because many of you tend to ask me questions like where is Forest City, where is Austin, where is Medini, and you have no idea where they are on the map and you have no idea where they are in relation to each other and to Singapore. So in today's video, we're going to do that using Google Maps to help you understand where the different suburbs are in relation to one another, so they can understand better the geography of JB, and that will help you make a decision in which areas you want to narrow down if you want to buy property or retire in Johor Bahru. Okay, behind me you can see a Google Maps with Singapore at the bottom and Johor Bahru on top, and most of you are actually familiar with Johor Bahru City Centre. So if I zoom in, this is Johor Bahru City Centre. This is the Woodlands Causeway, which most of you are familiar. And the RTS basically crosses somewhere from over here, Woodlands North, into JB Central itself. So most of you, when you say go to JB, you are aware of this part of JB, which is the Johor Bahru City Centre, right? Where Woodlands connects into JB, right? And this is City Square, the first shopping mall that you see when you come out of the customs, right? And the most popular reason for choosing to stay in the JB City Centre is because of the convenience, right? It's easy to get back to Singapore. The RTS will be here, right? And this is places that most of you are familiar with, places like KSL, Taman Sentosa, Taman Pelangi, Taman Century. All these are within Johor Bahru City Centre itself. So shopping malls like City Square, South Key, Mid Valley, all these are within the Johor Bahru City Centre area. Of course, the cons of JB City Centre is that traffic can be quite bad, right? The area is a bit old. Probably JB City Centre itself requires some rejuvenation because there are a lot of old parts of JB. Town planning is not done very well because this is a very, very old part of JB, right? But of course, those are the negatives. But if you don't have a car, if you live in JB City Centre, actually it's quite easy to get around. If you take a Grab, right, it's probably 10 ringgit, 12 ringgit, one way to most destinations within JB City Centre. So you probably don't really need a car if you live in JB City Centre itself. The next location that many of you are probably interested to find out more is what I call Iskandar Puteri. Now, Iskandar Puteri is basically referring to the area west of JB City Centre. So if this is JB City Centre, right, over here, just outside of Woodlands, right, Iskandar Puteri, right, if I use a red color, it's basically to the west, generally in this direction. So west of JB, or we call Iskandar Puteri, is roughly half an hour's drive from JB City Centre. If you take a car or you take a Grab, most of the time it'll be half an hour, sometimes 40 minutes or longer if traffic is bad. But Iskandar Puteri is where locations such as Medini, Bukit Indah, Eco Botanic, Puteri Harbour, all these are in the Iskandar Puteri zone. Now, Iskandar Puteri is popular because it's relatively nearer to the second link. So if you're someone in Singapore, if you stay west, like in Clementi, Jurong, Choa Chu Kang, it's probably easier to get to JB, and the first area you see is Iskandar Puteri, right? So in that sense, Iskandar Puteri is also a popular zone because Iskandar Puteri is where the majority of international schools are here. The population density is lower, is greener, the environment is, in a sense, less dense, more green, less people per square foot, right? And there are also a lot of nice commercial areas here. It's also where Legoland is, Gleneagles Hospital is also over here. So quite a fair bit of people like to stay here as well. As I mentioned, because of, again, proximity to Tuas Second Link and because of a different environment, very different environment if you compare to JB City Centre. Of course, the cons is you will probably need a car if you want to live in Iskandar Puteri vicinity, right? It's probably more practical to have a car because here, although there's public transportation, they are probably less developed or less Grab car compared to city centre per se, right? So, but again, yes, a very popular place for most people to stay. A lot of expatriates, Koreans, a lot of Westerners also prefer to stay in Iskandar Puteri because you get nice gated guarded landed houses. There's a lot of gated guarded landed options over here in Iskandar Puteri. So a popular question that I get all the time is Forest City. People ask me, is it Forest City a good place to stay, right? How do you consider Forest City? Now, Forest City, where is Forest City on the map, right? Forest City is actually somewhere over here. This is actually, let me draw it. Forest City is actually somewhere over here. Now, you will notice that actually Forest City is a quite remote location. If you look at it, within JB itself, right, Forest City is at the very, very edge of civilization in JB, right? Most Johor people consider Forest City somewhere quite far. From most parts of JB, getting to Forest City is actually 45 minutes, 1 hour, right, minimum, right, to get to Forest City itself. The only thing that Forest City have is that it's actually fairly close to Singapore via the second link. So in that sense, Forest City is near to Singapore. So unless you are the type that enters Singapore very often through second link, right, most people will not really choose Forest City in that sense, because Forest City is on the map perspective quite remote part of Johor Bahru. One more location that many of you have probably heard of is Austin. Now, Austin is actually towards the northeast. So if we say Johor Bahru City Centre is here, right, Austin by comparison is roughly northeast of Johor Bahru, right? So Austin is also a very popular area in the sense that a very vibrant commercial area, a lot of nightlife, a lot of F&B. A lot of people like to go to Austin for lifestyle purposes. A lot of, like I said, a wide range of F&B choices, very large commercial area with a lot of bubble tea. It's like the bubble tea capital of Johor Bahru. There's, I think, 11 or 12 bubble tea shops within a very small area of Austin, right? And again, karaoke, entertainment, right? Also a lot of landed properties there, some condos. So you can see why Austin is a popular area. So Austin is towards the northeast. Again, from JBC Center to Austin is roughly half an hour drive. It can be more because actually traffic in Austin can get pretty bad. If you don't like traffic jam, I suggest you don't want to stay Austin, because Austin is also well known to be a fairly heavy traffic area, right? But yeah, a lot of people choose to stay here because again, commercially very vibrant, right? So there's lots of things to eat and do in the Austin area. So how about other locations in Johor Bahru, right? Other than JB City Centre, Austin, and Iskandar Puteri, are there any other locations that people prefer to stay or retire in Johor Bahru? Well, there are two more that I'll probably highlight. Number one is probably Taman Sutra. Taman Sutra is actually somewhere south of Skudai. So you go up north a little bit along the highway. There's an area called Taman Sutra that's actually quite popular with many people as well, locals as well as foreigners. Gated guarded landed houses, very nice environment, shopping malls, Sutra Mall, Paradigm Mall nearby. And again, a popular zone. If you go a little bit west, you already reach Iskandar Puteri in general. So this is also one popular area. The developer actually is a subsidiary of Keppel Corporation. So actually, if you want to be in the hands of a strong financially strong developer, right? The Sutra developer actually is partially owned by Keppel in Singapore. The other place that is probably quite popular with foreigners is also an area called Senibong Cove, which is somewhere over here. Senibong Cove is built by a Australian developer. It has an interesting thing. It has waterfront properties which are generally facing Sembawang. So you can buy a good choice of landed properties there, and also some condos facing the waterfront, right? Very vibrant, like harbour front with a yacht marina and nice restaurants as well. So it's also a popular area for foreigners and other retirees to stay in Johor Bahru. So in case you're wondering about the rest of JB geography in general, right, let me quickly show you where locals stay, right? Maybe that's what you want to know. So if you look at the map of Johor Bahru, right, so you have Skudai, Senai, and Kulai to the north. So this is the area of Senai, Skudai, and Senai. So this is the northern area of JB where a lot of locals stay. Probably not as many Singaporeans or other retirees, but this is where a large portion of the local population stay towards the north, all the way to Senai, which is where the local airport is. The airport that flies to KL and some international destinations. Kulai is actually well known more for the industrial area, right? So this is to the north. You also have some locals that live towards more to the east, right? Places like Pemas Jaya as well as Pasir Gudang, right? And also other parts like Molet, Ponderosa, and also Sri Austin, which is the fringes of JB, right? So Pasir Gudang here is actually what we call the heavy industrial zone of Johor Bahru. So again, like Tuas in Singapore, most people prefer not to stay in Pasir Gudang directly because of the heavy industry. So most people stay a little bit west of Pasir Gudang, like Pemas Jaya or Molet Austin itself, right? Also to the west, you have an area here called Gelang Patah, right, which is also predominantly a local area. So Gelang Patah is where most people are hoping for the high-speed rail to come over here, right? That is a topic for another day. But in case you want to know, yeah, this is where the high-speed rail track will come in, linking into Second Link. Okay, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed that short video on the geography of Johor Bahru. And in case you didn't know, especially if you are not from Singapore directly, or you're not someone who have been looking at the map of JB, I hope this video was useful to you and taught you a thing or two about where the various suburbs are in Johor Bahru. So thank you very much. If you like our content, do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope to share with you more interesting and useful content to you soon. Thank you very much, and bye bye.